Hello everybody and welcome back to the SOOP Duel series. Today we're taking a look at Best versus Royal in a best of 7 for $500. Got that prize pool on the line. We'll see how Best takes on a Terran in 2024 in a best of 7. Not a lot of opportunities to play out a best of 7, guys. And so it's always interesting to see, what kind of strategies they'll pull out, how they react to going down in a series or up in a series if they get a big advantage. Interesting to see how they want to try and close things out. Might give us something to think about going into the ASL. But I digress. We've got Best over here poking in here on Radion, able to get that first scout on one of the largest maps, which is going to force RoyaL to actually build his gas early. Built the gas and then stopped actually building it, just pulled the... oh no, he did finish it. Excuse me. He did finish that. I didn't see an SCV actually building on that gas, so I thought he had taken it and was just having the SCV, not... constructing. We are going to have this factory. Pretty quick factory here from RoyaL. Look at that. 2-minute 27, 2-minute 28. Really nicely timed there. Hitting his build. And we'll have a vulture out here in just a matter of moments, using this SCV to try and block a little bit, put a little damage onto that probe. Hey, that's some pretty good micro from RoyaL for sure. He is going to gun down that probe. SCV, oh, just barely going to slide through. Secondary SCV going to come out here and continue building this factory. Doesn't want to have any slowdown on that factory at all. He had a great timing on that. And so making sure that he continues to build non-stop is going to be key. Oh, great blocking. Really excellent blocking there from RoyaL, with that SCV moving back and forth, back and forth. Now, can he get through? Oh, not going to be able to get through that. SCV actually blocking against him rather than for him. Giving him a little bit of trouble there. Not able to slip between the barracks supply depot wall. And so he's lost 1 Marine, but for 2 Zealots, I think you take that trade. Checking behind the minerals, making sure there's not a 3rd Zealot just waiting over there, but Best smartly pulling back. Gonna wait for this Dragoon to come out and support. Vulture rotating around the outside. Looks like it's gonna be spotted. Best turning his Dragoon as that moves forward. Zealot in the wall. Can he actually block this? Looks like RoyaL will not go for it. Instead, turning away. Heading over to the side here. He's actually coming back around. I think he wants to lay down mines behind this, if at all possible. And Best should be a bit worried about that. There's a tank coming out and quite a few Marines. So if Vulture starts to lay mines back here... Okay, the mines upgrade's not quite there yet. So he's got a little bit of time. Trying to shave off a couple of Marines here. RoyaL, if he pushes this back... With the Marines and tank, you won't need to build a bunker here for quite some time. Can just go directly into the CC, and that's indeed what he's going to do, pushing out with those Marines. Gonna head out on the map here. Try to put on some of that pressure, and I just realized that we're playing the wrong music. So let's go ahead and switch over to the Terran. As he initiates this push, gonna run right up. Great control so far from Best. Buying some time with that first Dragoon and gunning down the mines here over in the natural. Not allowing the Vulture to really get set up or get any sort of connections. Any sort of mine connection would be devastating right now to Best's position. Oh, he is going to fire back on this tank. Can he actually run down the tank? I think he will get the tank. Yeah, with no mines here to defend, he is going to be able to pick that up. Only 1 or 2 hits left on this Dragoon, though. Dragoon does go down. Gets the Vulture as well. Really great defense here from Best. This did not go well for RoyaL at all. Losing the tank and all of his units. Hopefully that mine won't connect. Ooh, RoyaL throws down a hidden base in bottom right. So this is interesting. RoyaL, as soon as he gets in a bit of a deficit, immediately throwing down a hidden base. This could bring him back into the game, or, you know, it could just be a big money sink that even puts him farther behind. So we'll see how it turns out here. Another vulture ran in and just died in the natural. So Best is going to be able to just send his probe out without any sort of Dragoon accompaniment. It's kind of crazy. RoyaL throwing so many units in here and not really getting much. This has really kind of hurt him here. However, SCVs being sent down to the bottom right. He's going to transfer some workers, which is crazy. Transferring workers down to the bottom right is going to get this base online so quick. So much faster than its traditional hidden base where you just make workers at the base and slowly have enough workers to really get that online. He's going to have that online immediately, and so the longer Best doesn't know about this, the more chance of RoyaL really coming back in this game there is. A couple of buildings here at the front. It's a sick wall there. Really solid defense at that front. No way you're breaking that with Dragoons. And RoyaL just going to sit here and probably go into a starport, get into his later game upgrades. And that's kind of expected out of Bez. Like, yeah, you're probably not going to be able to push. After losing all that stuff early on, you're probably going to have to sit back here a bit and maybe go for a third. Unless Best gets super greedy, then maybe, you know, we could expect RoyaL to throw down a bunch of factories and try to attack him. But if Best just sitting here on 3 base building units, very low chance that RoyaL's 2 base push could break him. So Best might not expect anything, or, you know, he might not be able to read anything into what RoyaL is doing here. Just going for Academy, Armory, and then eventually into Starport. He is sending a or an observer down the map. However, this could be on a shift command click all the way around the map, and that would be amazing for Best. This is something you absolutely have to do if you're gonna, you know, keep winning games in long series like this. Even on ladder, it's great to just send a unit around the map just to check. Even if you think you know exactly what the position is, even if you're near 100% confident that you know what's coming from your opponent, just sending one unit around the map, whether that be an observer, zealot, zergling, overlord, whatever, it will save you so much pain in the long run if you just get in the habit of doing that. And look at this. Best is absolutely in that habit. He spots the base down here in bottom right. He will respond. RoyaL can't really do too much about it, man. He has no idea that's even been spotted, I don't think. As soon as he sees these Dragoons heading south, down towards this bottom right, though, I think he'll realize, but he won't have any time to react. It's not like he can put together suddenly a bunch of factories and just go for an attack. Take advantage of the Dragoons being out of position. He's just going to have to sit here and kind of just take it. Yeah, nothing he can do about this. Float the CC, lose every SCV most likely. Yeah, all these are going to go down. Best with the chase micro here. Killing off everything. You can see Best sends out like 2 vultures. That's the best he can do. Or sorry, RoyaL sends out 2 vultures. It's the best he can do in this rough situation. He's going to start to crawl forward a little bit here. He has added up to 5. Oh, wow. A lot more factories coming online. I don't think he can afford that. I think those extra factories... Oh, my God. That's so many factories. Yeah, I think those factories were being added as though he was going to be able to get away with that mining for a long period of time. But he hasn't been able to. Now we got a Reaver coming into the main. He's going to hit a bunch of SCVs here. Oh, my goodness. Oh... Ooh. Oh, that connection was so late, but so satisfying. He kills a ton of SCVs there. I don't even know how many kills this is. We're going to get a look at a minute here. 18 kills, guys. 18 SCVs have gone down to this. Now up to 23. Not all SCVs, but a lot of kills. on that economy. 33 SCVs left. He's sitting here on like 10 factories. How are you ever going to afford that? 2 base, 33 SCVs. He's going to be producing on like half of these factories. Half of these factories are going to actually be active. And I think we're going to see Best just smash this down. Look at the supply lead. 50 supply lead. If Best is in any sort of shape right now, you'll be able to smash this. Coming in again with another Reaver right as the push out happens. This is Best in a nutshell. If Best, or if this was Snow would be juggling this Reaver and trying to defend back at home, but, or slow down the push at least. But this is Best. He just sends in a Reaver, and now he's going to go and clear out everything while RoyaL's dealing with his army on 2 fronts. Zealots get on top of these tanks. He's just backing away and backing away. Not enough vultures here to clear out the Zealots, and so this Reaver just going to town on these workers, crushing through everything. You can see that RoyaL is completely flustered, sitting here on 41 supply, is not even dealing with this Reaver, and he finally does tap out. Ooh. Oh, my goodness. Here he is, RoyaL, spawning in top left, Best bottom left on Pantheon. So, if I remember the layout of this map correctly, I believe this is actually a pretty decent spawn location for Best. Yeah. I believe the narrow choke over this natural is to the right, where you can actually hit the mineral patch over the wall. And so Best has actually found himself in quite a good spawn on this map. Doesn't mean that he's going to win, just means he won't lose to a 2-base timing necessarily. It's just so strong in these other positions. If the positions were reversed, for instance, RoyaL could execute a 2-base push that would be nearly unstoppable, would be incredibly hard to shut down. And I think we would end up getting kind of pigeonholed into that style of play. Just a very quick 2-base attack would probably be RoyaL's main way of playing out this game. But as we see with the spawns, we can get a longer game. We could get, you know, a big split map situation. This does have a massive open middle. There's plenty of small little high grounds around. There's 4 small high grounds around the map. Can be key. You can see one of them on screen here. Both players sending out scouts in the wrong direction. We're all going to get up here first and see nothing up in this base. Could try to block on the ramp. Is he going to get the opportunity to block on the ramp? No, not paying attention. RoyaL just going to send that SCV down towards bottom right now. Won't be blocked at all. Won't be harassed at all by the probe, though, early. So he's going to hit this really fast factory timing. 28, 29, 30. Okay. A little bit slower than last game. Not able to mineral boost as effectively this game. 2-minute 30 factory. Still pretty solid. And so we've got first Zealot making its way forward with that forward gateway, able to rally up right away. Sees that RoyaL has all the information here. He knows this Zealot is coming. Gonna fall back to his wall. This SCV on the wrong side of the factory. Oh, he loses it to the probe. The probe coming up to get that final kill is actually quite good. Unfortunate that RoyaL didn't pull his... Oh, great block there with the SCVs. Did pull his SCV into a more defensive patch. He actually pulled his SCV into kind of a weird position there, right on the edge of the mineral line. So you might end up losing another SCV here. Oh, God. This is getting bad. He's going to lose 2 more SCVs. Does manage to kill all the Zealots, but he loses a Marine as well. 3 SCVs and a Marine for those first 2 Zealots. That's pretty solid. Best is going to be feeling very good about that. Getting much more damage from this than the last time. You can see how Best likes to play out a series. Forward gateway twice in a row to put on that pressure. And we'll see if he goes for like a Nexus first a little bit later on. Once the Terran player has been conditioned to dealing with these early Zealots, I think we could see that as a really nice way to follow things up. Putting a little damage on this Vulture. Actually, 15 points of damage is pretty nasty for a probe. Oh, another Zealot getting in there. Gets one kill. Almost gets a second. Dragoon coming up now. These are a lot of injured Marines. If he targets down the right one, could very quickly start to pick these off. As a second Dragoon coming up now, I believe. But, oh, wow. Starport behind this. Roy's going to go for a Vulture drop, making non-stop Vultures here. This is an insanely fast Vulture drop. Usually, if you see Vulture drop, it's after the CC. But this is going to be a wildly fast one. Trying to get in there ASAP and start to really hammer that mineral line. We'll see if Bess is able to respond to that. Yeah, this is going to be crazy. Wait, he's not building the dropship. What am I looking at right now? Dropship? Did he not start it? This is wild, guys. Okay. Looks like it's actually going to come in right around the 6-minute mark, which is kind of when you would expect. But without a CC, that's crazy. Okay. RoyaL is pretty all in with this. If he doesn't get any damage, he is going to be so far behind. 3 Vultures over here on the left-hand side. Dropship is coming across. Now the RoyaL's going to take his CC behind this. I imagine we're going to see an attack into the natural at the same time. We'll see if Bess is able to block that as well, because we could see a ton of probes go down in the main. And then, oh, he's actually going to stab in with the Marines at the front as this is going on. He's coming over here. He sees the front. Going to start to drop in this main base. Marines moving up to the front. He doesn't... Oh, he has mines. He didn't go for speed. He went for mines instead. I think he might have switched it up. I definitely thought I saw a speed upgrade going on there. A bunch of observers being made. Trying to get through this. Cannot be taking mine damage. He does get hit by one big mine. Vulture's coming into the natural as well. Vulture's still here in the main, causing a lot of problems. More probes are falling. Best down to 22. 22 probes only. Does manage to take out both of those Vultures there in the natural. Still has 2 Nexi, and so can catch up in this probe production. For now, just going to be covering his ramp and waiting for more Dragoons to pop out. Eventually, we'll be able to shut this down. And I think this was okay damage for RoyaL. Pretty darn good. But was it really what he needed? I'm not 100% sure. We're sitting here on pretty even workers now. He's going to come in for some more damage. The Dragoons are still sitting here in the main base for the most part. He's worried about another drop coming in. We'll bring those Dragoons out now. Best going to send these workers back to the mineral line. Get that rolling once again. You can see the CC still not done, guys. This is crazy late on the CC. A second factory, I think, just finished up in the main, or is at least on the way. And so RoyaL will have some tanks out. He will have some mines splayed around the map to try to slow down any sort of counterattack. He's still got that drop ship, I believe, that's still got that drop somewhere out there, which could come into play a little bit later. But Bess is probably just going to take a third, guys. He's got the 32 workers. He's managed to crank out enough to really catch up. I guess it's okay for RoyaL. Look at that. He gets his natural, and he has the worker lead. So I would put RoyaL in a bit of an advantage. This has really worked out for him. Kind of a crazy play, going for such an early, like, kind of like a one base play almost. All right, going for such an early starport there, and really gambling a lot on getting that damage. But ended up working out just fine for him. Oh, did he misplace the Nexus? Oh God. I think I just saw him build and then cancel there. Kind of looked like he must have misplaced it, right? Not sure why he would have canceled that, but Beth's gonna get that Nexus down now. More factories are going to be thrown up. Looks like he's going to go right up to 6 fact. Wow. All right, RoyaL just wants to follow this up with a really punishing attack. Best sees everything, though. He's got a observer sitting right over top of that. And so he knows exactly what's happening in the Terran base, and he should be able to react to it appropriately. We'll see if he's able to get enough econ online. Looks like actually just 5 factories, so it's not necessarily an all-in. Could just be, or even an attack. It's not necessarily even an attack. It could just be taking his 3rd base. With the 6 factory, it's almost guaranteed to be an attack. But with the 5 factory, there's that chance where he just starts to spread out, takes his 3rd base, you know, gets into 2nd armory and a science facility. He does already have that starport, so that could be a reasonable decision to make, depending on, you know, what he sees with these scans that are coming up. If he scans and sees that Best is just cranking out non-stop units and kind of cutting into his economy, not really expanding quickly, then maybe there's a shot for RoyaL to just expand and hold. With these 5 factories, you're going to have a lot of units to make that happen. In fact, he's going to push down to the center left. This opens up the possibility to grab that CC and just go for the 3rd. He might want to push, though. It's just the counterattack here is really nice from Best, and you don't have that really tight choke on Pantheon to push through. You go through this choke that's just below the natural for RoyaL, and then you're right out into the open, and Best has a great chance of surrounding that army. Oh, tank out here in the middle. Kind of pressing the issue for now, Best. How many zealots and shuttles does he have out so far? I don't see any. Dragoon's kind of getting caught against this wall here. Uh-oh, RoyaL cutting some of these units off before the fight really starts to take place, before any tanks have even sieged. Zealots coming forward. Gonna jump right on top of this. Dragoon's coming from behind, though. Oh, boy. The Dragoon's gonna get on top of everything. There's only 2 siege tanks in this army. He's just targeting these down one by one, doing a great job of killing off every single tank here. The Vulture reinforcements arrive. Zealots are just gonna eat those, though. And the tanks are, for the most part, gonna end up going down. Really good hold here from Best. Perfectly done. RoyaL has seriously botched this, guys. He is gonna set up 1 tank at the front, 1 more on the way, but the next round of zealots, especially once speed comes online, it's getting so close to being done. I can't believe he broke that with such ease with no speed upgrade. That is wild. Look at him leading with the 1 zealot to eat the first tank hit. Running forward here, gonna bait mines into this group, gets rid of the tank, running forward. Okay, the Dragoons are actually hitting this barracks for a long time, and so I don't think he's gonna be able to clear this right here, right now. Yeah, a lot of Dragoons are actually going to go down. Okay, Zealots come up. There's the Zealot speed finishing. Now he can jump on this and just finish it off. Best has cleared this attack from RoyaL. Well played. Well played indeed. Really, RoyaL kind of fell into the trap here on Pantheon. Right as you come through that choke point, the map really starts to open up, and the flank was possible. Best hit it perfectly. Rather than doing a counterattack with those Dragoons, he brought them to bear at the perfect moment, hitting with the Zealots as the tanks were sieging up and getting in from behind with those Dragoons at that exact timing. So well played by him, and now he's in a huge advantage once again. 40 supply up and looking fantastic. Best attempting to take his 4th base in a moment here. It's 13 minutes in, so it's not exactly a quick 4th, but also the 3rd of Terran is quite slow. This attack really did slow down the pace of everything. Best a little bit off with his positioning on that Nexus, can be said. Won't get the absolute best mining out of that location, but still, it's pretty reasonable. Especially from a position like this. 60 workers, getting up to 4 bases now. Has completely reset the tank count of RoyaL. RoyaL just going to have to sit here and wait for a really long time before he can do anything. We're going to have shuttle speed finishing up soon. And Royal just going to sit, wait for those upgrades. He's going to spot this drop as well. That's a huge pickup. Seeing that dropship moving out is massive. Now he's going to be able to move his Dragoons around the outside of the map. Maybe he can catch the drop over in center right, something like that. That would be really strong. It looks like he's actually going to opt to... Wait, did he see this drop? I thought for sure he would actually send those over to bottom right or center right to actually catch this. But he's spread out his Dragoons. He's waiting for that to come in. Scans going down in the main base. Sees a lot of Zealots. That should be triggering alarm bells here for RoyaL that maybe there's a big attack coming in. Wow, he pulls the Dragoons away as this drop comes in. I guess he didn't see it, guys. I guess he didn't. And so this is going to get in here. It's not going to really do any damage with all the Zealots sitting back at home. Not really going to be able to put on too much pressure. And I think we're going to see Best break out the monk, you know, the ape strength here, the chimp strength, and rip through the defenses of RoyaL. I'm going to see a big charge forward here as RoyaL sets up everything. That's a very nice setup. But I've seen Best ape his way through a lot better in the past. He's actually going to be looking to set up a little spot here at the back. This is a pretty sneaky move from RoyaL to set up a ton of mines in that bottom right hand corner and then just place tanks on the low ground with the dropship to spot the high ground. He can start to hit these probes and could get a lot of damage here on the probes. Actually, this could be quite significant as that train of probes makes its way down. Yeah, Best just has no idea this tank is sitting here. Oh, he does now. For some reason, he's picked up on that. He's going to pull the probes back. Oh, he can see it. Wow, he can see. That's some crazy vision range on that cannon. Wow. I had no idea that cannons had that much vision range. It's kind of crazy. Dropping here on top of the natural. Zealots on everything. A storm goes down. A lot of SCVs die. And a DT is going to be dropped here in the main too. Ooh, he doesn't get the storm off there in the main base with that DT. Great pickup for RoyaL. Sniping that down before it can get its damage out. Does clean up bottom right. And so Best can get to mining over there. We might be seeing a really big game. I thought that Best was going to use all of those shuttles to like crack the defense of RoyaL, but he actually threw a lot of stuff away at the natural and main. You can see his supply drop dramatically, way down in supply now. In fact, was actually behind in supply under RoyaL for a little bit. A counterattack is moving up to the north, and so maybe, you know, Best can start something going here, but RoyaL's just going to pull the trigger on attacking directly into this natural. He's going to hit the rally point here of Best very hard, and there's been no secondary rally point set up for Best. This is a great move from RoyaL, pulling the trigger here really quickly on this attack, and he loses the Templar shuttle. Oh my gosh, calamity here for Best. Now RoyaL gonna get set up in that extremely OP spot here. You can see where that tank is. It can actually hit the mineral patch on the left and the right. He can hit both the mineral patches, denying two bases at the same time for just holding that one position. It's so hard to dislodge the Terran player. I think we're going to see a RoyaL victory, but we'll have to see if Best can smash through this attack. He's got a lot of forces to the north. He has quite a few shuttles ready to dive on this. RoyaL's not moving forward any further. He doesn't have to. He's hitting the Nexus right now. And so he is putting a timer on Best. Best has to make a move sooner rather than later to break this open, or he is just going to fall light years behind in this game. Zealot dropped out to bait some of these mines. He drops on top of a lot of this stuff, going to hit it with these Zealots. Dragoons forcing their way in right now. It's such a tight little area that it's very difficult to deny the tanks amazing splash damage on this backline of Dragoons. You can see so many Dragoons went down there. If this was a little bit more of open territory, would have been extremely an extremely easy cleanup there for Best with so many Dragoons surrounding that army, but he had to force his way through that tiny little choke, and so RoyaL takes a great trade. However, still the switch here is crazy back and forth. Now a 30 supply advantage for Best. That was actually a better cleanup than I thought. Even though he lost so many Dragoons, still maintaining a pretty sizable advantage in terms of that supply. Vulture going to make its way down here to the bottom right, but it gets denied immediately. RoyaL takes a 4th base, and so he's secured a bit of his future in this game. Can max out at least 1 to 2 more times. He's done that 2-2. Just the 2 attack damage here for Best, but that's fine. He's setting up bottom right. That other quadrant of the map can start to add some gateways down there. We'll see if he wants to make any sort of tech transition. I'm a big fan of Best just going for, you know, Mass Shuttle, Templar, Storm, Zealot, Dragoon, and just banging it out with the Terran player, even in the late game. But we have seen him try different things, go for, you know, carrier transitions here and there, even going into Arbiters occasionally. We'll see if that's on the menu here today. Best starting to set up gateways down there at bottom right. Gonna block some of these vultures from getting in, but enough of them get by here that a lot of these probes are gonna start to die. Does manage to pull out some of those. Down to just 48 though. Has taken quite a bit of damage from that earlier attack. And from this follow-up vulture run by, you can see he doesn't have that many probes to transfer to bottom right. RoyaL going to be on the lookout for those as well, trying to snipe down any transferring probes that he can. Still 50 supply advantage for Best. Is there a location where Best could run in and just break through? On this map, it's pretty tight. Everything is pretty well locked down. You know, that top center base, you have to go through such a tight choke as Best to actually get in there. Even center left could be taken by RoyaL, going up to 5 bases and still have a very tightly knit group of bases. Hard to bust in to any of those locations. And so RoyaL seems to have a pretty reasonable game plan. Just lock it down, wait for Best to make a mistake, wait for him to move out, and then just initiate a great counterattack. Get down here into the natural again. If Best doesn't make a move, then eventually RoyaL will be able to take that center left and start to slide over towards top right as well. Best will have to take that if he really wants to win this game, like long term. We're talking, you know, 30 minutes in. He's going to need top right. So the closer RoyaL can slide towards that base, the better. The surround here was pretty good from RoyaL, but not really getting the mine connections he was looking for. Vultures trading out at a bit of a deficit. Maxed out now is Best. Looks like he's going to start a Nexus over there in top right. I think that might be just a Zealot, actually, not a probe that's patrolling in top right. So can't take that just yet. +3 is going to be finishing up here soon, I imagine, for RoyaL. A lot of vultures going down right now. Is this the moment for Best? Maxed out, just killed a bunch of vultures. Is it time to just dive in and try to take a fight? It might be. He's cleared out a lot of the mines. Not these ones, though. Well, needs an observer with this. Oh, okay. Doing okay for now. A lot of shuttles moving around this right-hand side. Oh, looks like RoyaL's actually going to go for top right immediately, not taking that center left. Instead, trying to stretch out into that top right. He's only at 158 supply, guys. There's got to be an opening somewhere that Best can exploit. Where is he going to go? That's so many tanks, but they're really stacked up. I wonder if he could get in on top of that with some Templar Storm and speed shuttles. He's actually going around the right-hand side right now, sending a ton of shuttles up into this position. What's the plan here with these shuttles? I feel like he should dive on that army. He's actually moving towards the natural now. Best maybe going for a counterattack. There's not a lot here. Most of the army is over in that top right, and so if he just... Oh, God. He dropped like 20 zealots in top right. What is this? Well, what are we looking at right now? These zealots are going to go in for a little counter. A lot of mines here. There's quite a few tanks just to the north of this position. He is going to get in here and deny this CC for now, which is pretty good. He's going to draw a lot of these vultures over here, but this trade is going to go miserably for best. Yeah, this didn't seem like the play, guys. I'm sorry. I just don't think that was the... I don't think that was the one. However, Best has a pretty good bank now. He's got this full setup in bottom right. He's got that extra rally point. He's got all the shuttles he could ever want. 6 shuttles is a lot of supply of shuttles. Probably don't want any more of that, more than that. The tanks are starting to spread out a bit more now. And he just didn't pull the trigger on the attack in towards the middle. I'm really surprised about that, guys. 185 supply now for RoyaL. He's fielding a pretty incredible army sitting here over on in the middle of the map. Kind of surprised about that. Best. What is he going to do with this huge amount of shuttles on center right? Feels like he wants to try and deny that base top right, but he's kind of missing opportunities here to start pulling RoyaL back and forth between these two very estranged positions. They're so far apart from each other. It should be possible for him to hit in one of these two locations and start to drag the army to and fro. 2 zealots here in the main. Looks like that's probably going to trigger Best to go in with these shuttles because he doesn't want to wait until all the turrets are up. Yeah, here comes those turrets. So it's starting to drop on top of a lot of this stuff. EMP goes down, immediately shutting out this storm. Another EMP goes down, but storms have been levied. Another storm here on the top side. A lot of army here has been dragged into the top right. So many tanks, vultures, and Goliaths are up here. There's got to be another opportunity somewhere else, but Best's only sitting on 170 supply. Can he attack into top center? Can he attack somewhere else? 5,000 minerals in the bank. 5,000. Is this a broken replay? I don't think so. RoyaL's still spending his money. But Best is having a real hard time. Is he going to switch into carrier? Something. He needs something. Just sitting back here and letting RoyaL take top right is not going to be a winning play. You see his RoyaL moving towards the center now. But the army is just too strong. 2 upgrades here have just finished. Armor and shields for Best. Usually when you get shields, you're actually looking to go into air. But like shields is just such a rare upgrade, and especially when there's EMP available. Like, why would we ever want to go into shields? Now RoyaL pushing down towards the bottom right. It's almost like he's just trying to spend his money by getting those upgrades. Just needs to spend it on something. RoyaL is going to start to hit this bottom right base. One of the few mining bases right now for Best. Still got a little something at the bottom center. That mineral only has some things as well. Okay, diving on top of everything. A lot of mines were connecting back there, and there's a lot of vultures in this as well. Dude, RoyaL is cleaning a house. Just crushing this army, and in fact, he's going to remain with quite a few tanks at the end of this. The storms are pretty good at the tail end of this fight, but he needed those storms to land at the beginning of the fight so that the army could clean up. Not at the end. Arbiter Tribunal has completed, but what are the chances he actually gets a Arbiter spell off this game? It's looking like that's just never gonna happen. 2 tanks clearing out this Nexus at center right. Best really falling apart. Wow. RoyaL showing a much better late game TVP than Best. Despite having some hard times, despite getting cleaned up in his earlier attack. Still able to push through. Get into that big split map economy. And clear out Best in some of these late game fights with that 3-3 mech. He's done enough damage here. He's actually going to fall back a little bit. Make sure he kills that Nexus in center right. And just relegate Best to almost no economy. You can see he's going to set up on this wall here. This is what makes this map so powerful for Terran. This position right here is so difficult to dislodge, and you can hit the Nexus over the wall. So RoyaL just going to take that spot. Dare Best to come over here and deal with it. Best has lost most of his probes. This is just about over, guys. 3,000 minerals in the bank. And making 2 arbiters. Oh, Best. I don't think that's going to be the ticket here, guys. That's quite a lot of army. He's up to another max. But I don't think he'll be able to max out too quickly after this. He's still got the 3,000 bank. So maybe I'm wrong. But with only 36 probes, it's pretty difficult to have a functioning economy that can actually stand toe-to-toe with RoyaL in this late game. 50 workers for RoyaL, and he's got, what, 4 fresh bases? Or 3 fresh bases? That's a little bit too much to handle. RoyaL can start to take more positions. He can take center left if he wants to. We've got an engagement here at the front. Best ready to take this fight. There's no mines out in the front, so right now would be an awesome time to dive on this, but it's quite a nasty choke. Usually this is not a really tight choke here at the front, but it feels quite tight when you're at 200. That's a lot of army to try and smash through that small position. So Best is going to disengage, fall back, let this Nexus die. You're going to lose a lot of probes here, but maybe can bring the army around to fight another day. Find another location to fight this 200 max out force, and possibly bring his arbiters to actually do something. We've already got EMP, of course. EMP has been going for a while. Storm's up here in the top right. I'll actually kill a lot of SCVs, but he's going to lose most of his shuttles, and that's really his cleanup force. This is what he needs to actually take a reasonable fight against this Terran army. He needs those shuttles to drop a ton of zealots on top of everything, and he's just not going to have it anymore. Those shuttles have been sacrificed in top right to get the damage on this economy, and I don't think that RoyaL is going to be too sad about that. I think he's going to be pretty happy, actually, that the threat of the shuttles is gone. He can slowly get back into that top right, reclaim that base, just lift it off for some time, get that CC back down on the ground. And he's clearing everything really hyper efficiently in bottom right. Yeah, these zealots did barely anything. Just ramming it in there. It's not going to work out for Best this time. And so another drop in top right. Best is trying to make things complicated for RoyaL to close. In fact, getting a bunch of these storms over the wall is actually quite good. This is really going to slow things down. Maybe a zealot rally can clear this up, but I'm not sure. What I am sure of is that Best is running out of money, down to just 1,000 minerals, and only 25 workers to leverage here. A lot of these dragons are just getting taken out. That 3-3 so powerful, and a lot of these were softened up earlier by the mines. His command center is getting low, but he will be able to repair that. With the repair and the tank coming forward. Oh my gosh, is he going to get it? No, will not get it. Nice repair there from RoyaL. We'll keep that alive. More probes dying. 20 probes left now. Best with the fantasy GG timing. He really doesn't want to get out of this game. Still trying to find ways of making it happen. But RoyaL just seems to be everywhere at once, hitting him on all of these fewer mining bases. 17 probes, guys. 17 probes. Now, if the Terran player wasn't mining, maybe this would be a game, but Terran is still mining. They've still got plenty of SCVs, 47 workers, in fact, and he will reclaim that top right-hand corner. With 3 bases mining against Best's 20 probes, I don't care how many bases he has online. With 20 probes, you just can't get a good income going. It's not going to be enough to contest this next attack from RoyaL. RoyaL will lose a couple of tanks over here, but trading out some Dragoons. The 3-3. Making it hard for Best to take any sort of good trade. Even against completely naked tanks. Having a hard time. See, just north of this position, a really big army from RoyaL. A lot of Goliaths in here. He's not skimping on Goliaths now because he knows how important the shuttles are. And that he lands these shuttles on top of, wow, 4 Arbiters. Where has Best been hiding these, man? Where have these Arbiters been the entire game? He's going to come forward with the 2 Arbiters. Look for some stasis. There's 1, 2 stasis. I'm going to get a 3rd, 4th stasis here. There we go. 4 stasis go down. It's just a bunch of Goliaths that have been stasis. And he's not able to get anything on the tanks. Gonna dive in now, dropping on top of everything. Can he get a great fight here? The fight that he needs to actually win this. 1 EMP goes down. 1 stasis goes down on the back line of tanks. There's a storm. Clearing out a lot of this stuff, but still 160 supply overall for RoyaL. This is still doing all right here. This 35-minute Arbiter timing not quite working out for Best just yet. It has allowed him to surround this army and actually clear out a lot of this stuff. And he will be able to finish off these Goliaths, and eventually the tanks will go down as well. Bunch of EMP going down here. Storms are just going to be thrown out everywhere. So many Templar in this force. Hardly any meat to the army. And so tanks will come up from every which direction, clear out this final bit of force from Best. RoyaL takes this one home. GG. One of the most fantasy GG timings I've ever seen. My goodness. Best versus RoyaL, with RoyaL spawning here in top left. Best over in bottom left on kickback. This map generally leads to some strong late game macro situations, but after what happened in that last game, I wonder if Best is willing to go there. He might be formulating a more aggressive plan for this game number 3. Not wanting to be dragged down into the late game, where RoyaL seems to have a bit of an edge. Try to end things before RoyaL can get onto 4 bases. It's hard to deny 3 bases from the Terran on this map. Pretty much getting into 3 bases almost no matter what. It's so safe here on kickback. But those do mine out very quickly, so it's not a really secure 3 bases. It's kind of a temporary 3 base. There may be opportunities to kind of starve out the Terran player. It is very difficult to take a 4th base on this map as RoyaL pushes along this area right where we're seeing to try and take 12. That can be a moment when Protoss can dive in. Also, if the Terran player is getting greedy in taking these 3 bases as quickly as possible, there are going to be options for punishing with Reaver. Could go for a DT play too. Best has been throwing out a lot of DT plays as of late. I'm not sure about when this series was played, but in the most recent KCM and a lot of the games that I've seen him play, it's been thrown in DTs more often than ever. And so I wouldn't put anything past him. This time he's not going to put the forward gateway, at least. He's switching up that style. Went for that 2 times in a row so far this series. Sending Zealots across to just start to pressure RoyaL. Switching things up now. Looks like going to go directly into a Dragoon. Looking to take this Nexus real nice and quick behind it. Let's see if he skips over range, or are we going to see a range build from Best this game? Feel like he might skip that upgrade. You can see he's got 300 gas in the bank. Might go directly. Oh, nice block there. Oh, really good block to actually get rid of this SCV. He's going to get this shot off, I believe. On the angle, should be able to get it right there. Nails it. Just getting rid of that scout out on the map will allow him to do things like skip this range. No, he will not. Okay, not going straight into a robo. Instead, going to start this range upgrade and send in the Dragoon to put on a little bit of pressure. He sees the bunker. Not really much of a point of dealing damage to these Marines, although it could help. Could help a little bit. If a Marine tank push comes out a bit later, takes fewer hits to actually kill those Marines, there's a very rare or low percentage chance of RoyaL ever building a medic. So that takes some of the tanking power out of that Marine force. So we're going to have that range finish up here soon. Going to start pounding the bunker. Not able to see if there's an actual CC here that's part of this map. You just can't know. You can't know if there's a CC here. So he has to keep one of his Dragoons back at home in case there was a proxied factory out on the map somewhere. Like it could be some sort of a 2-fact play. Got to be careful of that. Got to be wary of it. I don't think he's expecting it, but he's got to be set up to defend it regardless. Keeping that one Dragoon back at home. Sending across a second one now to start to hit that bunker. I think range is done. I'm a bit surprised to see him not hitting this. He's missing out on some potential damage, I believe. Well, maybe the range isn't finished yet, and I'm a bit off on that timing. Yeah, it looks like he's going to get in range now. Start to hit that. Forcing the 3 SCVs off the line. It is a little harder to get your SCVs down here. Generally, when you have this build, on normal maps, you're going to have your mineral line very close to the bunker, so you can just pull your SCVs off. Here, RoyaL had to preemptively pull these. He had to have these ready to be pulled and bring them down to make sure that the bunker doesn't die. Just that little extra space between the mineral patches and the bunker here is actually... It can completely screw you over if you lose that bunker. Things start to spiral out of control super fast. It really needs to be completely locked down before this Reaver comes in. There's a lot of space to utilize as a Reaver player. And lots of different locations that he could try to drop at. Namely, these high grounds, especially the high ground that hasn't been taken yet. He can drop over there and start to gun down some of these turrets, open up the position to fly into the back of the main base. RoyaL needs to be on top of that, and so he's got a floating building that will alert him to this shuttle. Immediately can start to move the tank down, get in position, make sure that he doesn't lose that turret right off the bat. Yeah, see, he's defending that turret. Make sure that turret does not go down. Best actually rotating around towards this natural now. Looking to drop here on the high ground. Can he get in here without taking too much damage from the turret? Tank there is going to push him back for the time being. Second tank coming up here, going up to 5 factories before throwing down a third base. RoyaL being quite cautious. Best third base finishing up pretty darn early. He really needs to keep this Reaver alive. Otherwise, a 5 factory push could actually bowl him over pretty easily. It'll still be hard to hold, but maybe with the Reaver, some good micro, can slow down RoyaL and keep himself alive long enough to really get this macro engine firing. He's adding on those gateways now, but you can see he's got less gateways for the time being than the number of factories that RoyaL has. So RoyaL's going to be outproducing him for a little bit here, and we'll see if Best can slow that push down long enough to get things like Zealot speed and extra shuttles online. Finish up all these gateways and get a couple of rounds of units out. You can see Royal already pushing forward. This is a little bit suspicious considering he should be taking a third base right now. And with that observer there on the high ground, you can see that's not the case. This is some sort of two-base push. This is actually what Best specializes in. He is so good at taking down pushes like this. Great hit there. 2 tanks? No, 1 tank goes down. 1 tank on 2 HP. You've got to be kidding me. That's so much damage. It's like going to rotate around this army, try to catch some reinforcements. Forcing Royal back for the time being. He does not want to allow these Dragoons into his rally point. Buying more time here, Best. Should have another shuttle out in a moment. He's still got the 2 Reavers here at the front, killing off a bunch of Vultures and getting another great hit there on some of these tanks. Should be able to take another shot on that. A great hit there with that Reaver, killing another tank and injuring even one more. Reaver here needs to be drawn back even further. It's super low. Wants to get one more Scarab shot. The Dragoons are in the rally point here for Royal. He's having a hard time making his way over to this natural. Best has done a great job of sandbagging this, slowing this down as much as possible. Might even catch some of these Dragoons on the return trip. Or some of these tanks on the return trip, excuse me. But seems like Royal has brought enough reinforcements out here to deal with this. 2 shuttles out now with these Zealots inside. He can drop right on top of the tanks and start to just destroy them. I don't think Zealot speed is done. In fact, Zealots are just sitting here on hold position in the rally point. That's a lot of Vultures. Zealots being dropped on top of all this stuff. Where are the Dragoons right now? They're kind of in the middle of the map. I think a lot of them are getting cleaned by mines. Big mistake here for Best. He actually loses this fight, and now Royal is right on top of his rally point. Oh, God. Oh, God. Things have really fallen apart here for him. Best is struggling right now to put together an adequate defense. His gateways are starting to be hit here, and he can't stop the rallies from coming across the map. He's got a few more Dragoons back here, catching some of these Vultures as they move forward, but he doesn't have an observer with that. He can't deal with the mines. Dropping Zealots on top of this is a great start. Reaver dropped down as well, but it dies immediately, even to all those Vultures firing. Not having enough health to sustain that damage. Gonna drop Zealots on top of this again. Another great unsiege here for Royal. Best finally with Zealot speed coming online. Reaver gonna be dropped in the middle. Can he get one shot off? No! No hit from that Scarab. And Best coming up from behind with these Dragoons. Finally, another Zealot rally comes out. Can he break it? He's gritting his teeth and just slamming the pedal to the floor. He will just barely break through. Barely breaking through. Oh, it was so close. So close. Royal still has rallies coming across the map. Best trying to take a base in bottom right-hand corner, setting up some cannons and a wall. We'll be taking that Nexus there soon, and Royal's going to have to fall back. Yeah, too much stuff coming out of the rally point now. The economy is finally online for Best. He did just enough with the Reavers and had just enough rallies coming out here to overwhelm what Royal was bringing forward. I'm gonna surround maybe this one last tank. Get that kill. That would be fantastic for Best, who's actually right up in the natural now. Kills that tank, and Royal just gonna take a third here. At 12-minute 30, though, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good at all. He sees that the Nexus has been started. Best gonna be snagging that now. Royal might want to think about creating a dropship here. Maybe get a starport going. Oh, that's unfortunate. Can't just hit those pylons from a distance. Reaver up here on high ground. Gonna deny this SCV for the time being. Pretty annoying stuff for RoyaL to have to deal with, considering he's already in kind of a rough spot. And his third CC has been delayed by so much. Oh, ho, ho. Not waiting for the mic. What? Wait, what? Okay. RoyaL just left? Okay. I'm a bit confused here, guys. I was really wondering exactly who left. I know that RoyaL, you know, his position was really not good, but he just cleaned up all those Dragoons for free, and the probes were running away. He could have actually killed a ton of probes, you know, maybe 10 or so probes that were running back, and, you know, continued on in this game. There was nothing harassing him. What am I looking at? Okay, guys, welcome to game number 4. Quite a strange tap-out timing for RoyaL in that last one. Maybe he was mining out on his natural. I'm not exactly sure what was going through his head at that moment, but he decided it wasn't worth continuing, despite having a bit of an opportunity there. Best was still in a great spot. And so here we are on Deja Vu cross map situation. Best top left, RoyaL bottom right. Best in a bit of a lead. Well, it's not an easy game. Really, none of these have been a cakewalk for Best at all, or for either player. Really down and dirty in a lot of these situations. Hard to tell who is actually going to come out ahead for a lot of this series. But Best has proven to be incredibly strong in that early to mid game. And RoyaL really does seem to have his number in the late game. So let's see if RoyaL leans into that a bit more. Tries not to, or doesn't try to attack in as aggressively and give Best those early game fights that he tends to excel at. I said I was going to change the music a little bit more often, so let's go ahead and change it to the Protoss music for now. Best gets in there and scouts the main base of RoyaL. Knows where he's at the very least. Did he send a Zealot? I think he sent a Zealot again. Not a forward gateway, but still another Zealot pressure from Best. Going back to that play. And trying to get on top of RoyaL's Marines. Let's see if he can get in there. Deal any damage. He's chasing down the SCV right now, so RoyaL might be distracted. Looks like he will run these Marines up into the main. The factory's a little far from that. Okay, he's not in time to actually slow down the factory at all. So factory finishes in good time. We'll be able to drive this away. And so this initial Zealot really not getting much done for Best. RoyaL just going to grab his CC. Doesn't even need a bunker for now, as the Vulture will run out here, try to chase down that Zealot, see if he can catch up to it, finish it off. Looks like Best will send that in a random direction out here to the top right. Try to hide that, at least for the time being. Actually, the Vulture comes back. He's thinking, well, maybe he's going to counterattack with that Zealot. Come around the side. Yeah, he goes and checks center right. Just make sure he's not over there. And so he misses the opportunity to chase down the Zealot, but make sure that he's safe back at home. I'm going to start a bunker here, it looks like, in the front as well. Everything is peachy. Starport on the way. See, this is the normal Vulture drop timing, right? You get the CC, keep making Vultures, and then you go for a Starport. Not like that, what was that, game number 1? No, game number 2. We went for kind of like a one-base Starport. Crazy, crazy play from RoyaL. Here it's going to be much more standard. We'll see if Best is able to catch on to this, if he's got his Dragoons in position. Ready to shut this down. He's gone for a second gateway. Will he go up to 3-gate Observer? 3-gate Observer is the safest. Pretty much the safest play that you could ever hope for as a Protoss that you'd ever go for. And so it will give you quite a bit of Dragoons to defend. You're not going to have a very fast Reaver, and you're not going to have a very fast third either. So it seems like Best is kind of cutting a little bit of corners here, going for a 2-gateway Dragoon. That will give you enough to shut everything down, but again, you have to be in position. Seems like he is for now. Waiting for a couple more goons to come out. He'll have about 5 Dragoons when this drop is landing. Looks like we're just going to be finishing up that speed upgrade as well as this is coming in. Let's see how much damage this can actually get done. Best has an open wall at the front. Those are 2 more Dragoons. He's got exactly 5. And he's got 2 at the natural. The third one's heading out on the map to clear the mine for this third base to come up. So he doesn't have the exact number that he would want, but oh, these 2 Dragoons on the high ground are going to clean this up so quick. 2 Dragoons on the high ground here, killing off these Vultures. Still getting a few kills on these probes. Overall, a really good hold, though. Best was in position. He was ready for this. 2 more Vultures come in. They're going to get a few more probes on the follow-up. But he will finish these off in pretty quick time. Dealing with that and getting his Nexus down right after, just before the 7-minute mark. Nicely handled. Really nicely handled by Best. You can see he's been practicing and prepping for these type of Vulture harassment techniques. He knew the timing of it and dealt with it properly. And so RoyaL, he was sitting back at home with a Wraith. Wanted to make sure he had something in case the quick Reaver play was coming out of Best. In case there was a Reaver coming in right as that shuttle, or right as that dropship went in with the Vultures. So he's got that tool to work with. He's also got the starport, which could lead into a nice +2 timing. However, taking a third base on this map is going to be a real struggle against a player the caliber of Best. The way that he likes to play, he is going to have a really fast max out. And so might have a great timing to actually shut down RoyaL if he wants to get greedy, take a third, and go for +2. Oh, what are we doing? Hello? Our observer was checking to see, oh, is he supply blocked? He needs to kill his Dragoon. That's not a thing, guys. You don't kill your own Dragoon to clear a supply block. Clearly, I think he was just A-clicking around and he accidentally A-clicked his Dragoon there. Didn't notice right off the bat, and so almost lost that for free. Donation over to his opponent. Citadel on the way here in the corner. Pretty quick Citadel will lead to a quick Zealot speed, if that's what he wants to go for. He sees the drop here on the side. Observer going to confirm that. And it is heading kind of in an awkward direction. He really wants to get this home. 2 tanks in that dropship, and so if he loses that, it would be devastating. Best caught the tail end of that dropship, but did he actually see it? I think there's a good chance that he didn't, and in fact that drop is just going to go home. He really wants to keep that alive. Yeah, 2 tanks in this drop. That's 300 gas, guys. You really need to get good value out of that, or at least bring it home. Make sure it stays alive. Can't be losing those 2 tanks right now, or you definitely won't be able to hold a third. In fact, RoyaL just goes out and starts a third on location. That's not going to stand for long. Immediately, Best going to react with the 4 Dragoons. Will force the cancel here. And is he actually going to get the... Yeah, he does get the cancel. Has 800 minerals left over now. Vulture's getting in here and putting down mines right on top of this. Tanks are coming up from the other angle too. Ooh, great connection there. Getting rid of a lot of these Dragoons is pretty strong. In fact, more Dragoons are coming up. RoyaL is going to try to hold this third base. Is he going to be able to lock it down, though? There's quite a bit of space to cover. And Natural is pretty wide open. That ramp going up into the middle of the map is a bit scary. Again, 40 supply advantage for Best. He seems to find himself in these situations very often. RoyaL's built 2 Wraiths. If he goes up to 3 and Cloak, he could Cloak, go across the map, and try to snipe a bunch of shuttles. That can be a really strong play. Although there are not many shuttles just yet. Seems like Best is just focusing on completely ground-based army. He's going to hit this way before RoyaL is ready. Way before RoyaL is ready to handle it. Yeah, we're just going. Guys, this is going to be a very quick assault here from Best. He is ready with the Zealot speed. He's just going to ram it down, boys. The Gorilla. They're going to break through. Come into my jungle. Try to drop me. Not going to happen, buddy. Jumping right on top of these tanks. He's just going to start to gun all of these down. RoyaL trying to hold a third base, but not going to be allowed to. That Best just dives on top of all of this. Going to send these Zealots over to the top right. Start to clear out these tanks. Getting rid of all these buildings as well. And the dropship goes down. Best has his 4th base set up now. Still maintaining a 40 supply advantage as he rallies Zealots and Dragoons across the map directly. Should be able to get everything together to shut down this base now. That base should be falling here shortly as the Dragoons run up. Zealots reinforce, and only 2 tanks here is just not quite going to cut it. The CC forced to lift. Zealots dropped on top of the high ground. A bit of a bulldog play. Gets the surround with the drop as well. Nicely done there, Best. Clearing all of this out and just getting every little tiny bit of value he can. While the tank count and vulture count is low, while the unit count is suffering for RoyaL. Dropping Zealots like that on top of a tank is so nasty. Picking off just one of the few remaining units that RoyaL has to his name. He'll have to eke out slowly, ever so slowly, onto this third base and try to take it again. But Best is just going to keep on cranking out units and put the pressure on over and over. It's going to be so hard to hold this location. We've got 2-1 on the way. RoyaL has a future in this game if he can just hang on to these 3 bases. But meanwhile, Best, 65 probes. He's got his macro just rolling like crazy now. And he's going to bring all these Zealots to the front. There's the shuttle ready to bust through. Going to go for this one more time. I have to teach you this lesson again, old man. Here he comes. Diving on top of all of these tanks. Zealots on the high ground. Zealots in the front. Another rally of Zealots making its way forward. Only 3 tanks remain. A lot of Dragoons do go down, but is still bashing his way through. Opening up the position again. And breaking through onto this third base. He will be able to deny all of this mining for a second time. Zealots here in the main, going after the SCVs as well, just running into the mineral line. And there it is. He tabs out RoyaL. GG's. Best 3-1 so far in this series, guys. That's what I like to see. Best. Here we go. What could be the final game of the night. Game number 5. We got RoyaL spawning here in top left. Best bottom left. We'll see if RoyaL can extend this series for us a little bit further. Gonna be cheering for him now. hoping that he can bring us to a game 6 and possibly a game 7 in what has been a stellar series so far. Best really showing his mettle, his true colors coming out. Especially in that last game. Really was able to just hit his game plan perfectly and overwhelm RoyaL as he tried to be a little bit greedy after that drop. Now with another forward gateway, we're going to see Best put the pressure on again. Really favoring this forward gateway. Perhaps because RoyaL is slightly weak against it, but perhaps because he just feels comfortable putting on that pressure and really figuring out what the Terran player is doing early. Now, this is a map that I've seen a lot of Terran players go for 2 factory play on. We'll see if RoyaL is thinking about that here in this game. He's gotten in for the scout now. RoyaL trying to defend his SCV the best that he can. Probe doing quite a bit of damage to the SCV, forcing it back into the mineral line and slowing down this high ground barracks. What the heck? 3 probes have been pulled. They come up here and get a little crazy now. Bess is going to try and hit these SCVs really hard here. Can he actually get the kill? He does get the kill. He's going to get on top of this first Marine. The Marine almost going down. He has to lift the barracks. A really good response there from RoyaL, but he loses the Marine regardless. Get under the barracks. No, he can't get under the barracks to block it from landing. If he would have thrown in a pylon there, I would have called Best a god. An absolute god. But instead, he does allow that to land. Now we've got the Marine popping out here. It can actually go between the two, the supply depot and the barracks. He's going to go on the top here of this. Use the probe to hit the Marine. We'll lose the Zealot, though, and the bunker's going to finish up. So this has failed. Best lost 3 probes there, only trading out a few SCVs. We're even on workers, and the Zealot could try to run by here. With 2 Marines in the bunker, it's going to take a lot of damage, though. And he hops the SCV in. Ooh, that's bad. Not much HP left on this at all. Just 32. We'll start to run around in this main, maybe slow down the gas or whatever, but RoyaL going to take his factory. Look at how late his factory is, though. Like 3-minute 40 factory, I think. After all that pressure was done by Best. So maybe it was kind of worth. I don't know, guys. What he really wanted to do was catch the Marines popping out and just keep killing them over and over again. I think he would have had a really good shot of doing that if he'd actually blocked the... As funny as it sounds, if he blocked that barracks from landing, and he absolutely could have just with a probe or with a pylon, he would have possibly just broken RoyaL right open and killed him. Because those Zealots were going to be fighting straight up against SCVs with probe support. And it would have been a while before he could have landed that barracks somewhere and gotten another Marine out. Because he probably would have had to move it and land on the low ground if he had been able to block that. It would have been that bad, guys. That was a really difficult situation for RoyaL. He did manage to navigate it reasonably well, but again, Best had a great opportunity to actually shut that down, just end that game. Second gateway in the natural is kind of interesting. Not really sure what the thought behind that is, but Best gonna have his Nexus finishing up here, and RoyaL sending a single vulture across. Might be able to harass this Zealot here for a bit. However, Dragoon is back, chasing that vulture away for the time being. Have Mines upgrade coming here shortly. Doesn't want to get caught off guard by some DTs or whatever. Doesn't really know what Bess is up to behind this. It could be something crazy after that pretty wild 3 probe pull. You can't put anything past him. Like, could do any number of things here, and you got to prepare for everything. RoyaL still keeping up on workers. I'm gonna throw down his second factory now, and it's looking like a more standard game from here on out. Although it was a crazy opener, it looks like both players are just going to opt for that more normal kind of follow-up here. No drop play from RoyaL this time. Instead, he's just focusing on his production, getting as many tanks as he can out here, trying to lay down these mines to slow a third base from Bess. It's going to be a little hard to get that slowdown because he's just lost his vulture, and the mines are not placed actually on the locations where the Nexus would be taken. A Reaver's going to come out here soon. RoyaL, does he have some turrets coming up? I don't actually see an eBay. He might be caught a little bit with his pants down here. If the Reaver comes in and there's no turrets at all, Rodas is going to be able to abuse you quite heavily. eBay is about halfway done. It's a pretty quick building. But even so, he might not be able to get these turrets done in time. See, that's going to finish up just now. I guess he's just going to be right on time. Look, he's got the 2 SCVs sitting there waiting. Not even going to waste time pulling the SCVs out of the mineral patches. As he knows this is getting pretty close here. He really does need to get those turrets up in time. He's actually got this army out on the map. 4 tanks, 2 SCVs, some Marines, and Vultures are going to make their way over towards this third. Right as Bess is going out with the shuttle as well. So if RoyaL holds back at home with all the mines he's placed and the turrets he's set up, and then he gets this position, oh my gosh, this is a nasty spot. Wait, he's actually going to push over here? I thought he would just siege up on this high ground. That's a little bit funny. He's actually going to go right in towards the natural. This could turn calamitous for RoyaL. Going to lose a tank right off the bat. Here comes the Reaver, by the way. Reaver going to be landed right at the front here. Okay, Zealots go down first. There's the Reaver going to take some shots. Let's get a pretty good shot on one of those tanks. Secondary shot is going to deal huge damage. Now he can target down the last tank. And yeah, that's going to be done. That is it. Well, Vultures can run by here. You can't block. Vultures get into the main base. There's still a Reaver to help deal with this. But maybe a lot of probes go down. If these Vultures didn't get in, I would say Bess would be at a huge advantage. Oh, the Reaver goes down. Huge swing here for RoyaL. He's going to get so many kills now. Yeah, he can go back into the main. Just kill all the probes down here. These, these Dragoons. Okay, there is a observer here now. That's so many kills, guys. That is so many kills. He's going after the pylon in the wall as well. This pylon, if he can get the kill on that, he might be able to slip even more Vultures into the natural. He does get the kill, but more pylons go down in order to hold the line. Good crisis management here for Best. Can he save this Nexus? He's already at a huge deficit. No. Let's go. RoyaL gets the kill on that Reaver. Insane value for that mine. Able to shut down that Reaver, and yeah, here we go. More Vultures running by. Bess is falling apart, guys. He is just not able to keep it all together with everything that's going on. He's going to lose another Dragoon here. More probes are going to go down in this main. Another big hit with another mine. Oh, 2 more Dragoons go down. RoyaL in here just dealing so much damage. He's at 50 workers. He's going to go ahead and take this third base. He's got 5 factories behind this. He could follow this up easily on 3 bases with a big timing push. Or he could sit back and, you know, grab a 4th base. Slowly extend out to that mineral only. Another bit of damage is going to go down here. 2, 3, 4. These probe kills are so big, guys. These probe kills are massive because of the earlier damage. This is setting Best so far behind. So far behind in the curve. 71 supply to 80. Best probably going to fall in this game, guys. I think RoyaL is going to bring us to that game number 6. It's a little bit too early to call, but this is such a big advantage. Such a big advantage for RoyaL. He should be able to find a way to bring this to a closer. Can Best bring it around? Can he find a way to come back in this? It's going to be tough. His 3rd base is fully saturated now, but it's still hard to defend. You can't really build just a pylon wall and protect all the probes there. You have to be active with your Dragoons and maybe build, you know, 3-4 cannons just to make sure that you don't take too much damage from Vulture run-bys. RoyaL just going to retreat with all of his Vultures. Make sure he's got mines everywhere and a good setup of tanks. He knows how good this position is, and he knows that he just needs to not lose right now to some shenanigans from Best. From Best getting in with small groups of Dragoons and this Reaver. And as long as he does that successfully, RoyaL will be in a great position. You can see still maintaining that overall worker lead and the supply lead as well. He's got a great setup here in the main. Can't even land these Reavers without taking huge damage on that shuttle. Shuttle is getting very low. Looking for some damage with these Reavers, trying to get whatever he can. We'll be able to slow down one of these factories, but a tank makes its way into the main. Now the Vultures can come through and lay some mines here. Make sure that that cannot continue. Great positioning on the turrets there from RoyaL. Really had a nice setup. Not even allowing that one little hex to be abused. This time mines here. Oh, can he force the mine to blow up without... Yes, he does it. Well done. Best keeps that position open for more future harassment. RoyaL still ahead in supply. Dude, he's going to have such a big push coming up here soon. He just needs to get this turret up. He's going to bring some units in to make sure that this turret does finish. And then he'll be ready for this push. He's ahead in supply. Pushing out with a massive army. Behind this, he can take a 4th at that mineral only while he's pushing. He just needs to not make any big mistakes with this push. If Best gets some massive value out of these Reavers, then the game could flip on its head. 2 more shots. Can he get 2 more shots? Oh my gosh, going for it. He just kind of lets the Reavers die there to get a couple more shots. I think 3 tanks total went down and a Goliath. Was that the damage that Best needed? I don't feel so. Dragoons trying to get into the rally point here. Going to force RoyaL to turn around for a second. But now that he knows where these Dragoons are, they're going to start trying to run them down and setting up mines in their path. Zealots here at the natural. Big buttload of them, but they do not have Zealot speed. And so they are absolute fodder to these Vultures that have made their way ahead of the army to start clearing this up. So many Zealots just went down, guys. His supply just dropped through the floor. Best has almost nothing left over. He's going to flank with these Dragoons, but the tanks are right here on top of everything. RoyaL is in a great spot over this natural. So hard to come up the ramp with your reinforcements to try and break something like this. Great target fire again on the shuttle. And these Dragoons coming from behind don't stand a chance. Absolutely mopped up. RoyaL takes this one home and brings us to yet another game in this series. Very well played there. Very well played indeed. I was getting a little scared for him as that attack was beginning, that first attack. I was starting to get cleaned up, but getting the Vultures by into the main and then the Reaver dying to the mine, things started to spiral out of control for Best, and RoyaL did find himself in an excellent position after all of those events. Now, here he is, RoyaL, spawning in the top left. We got Best down in bottom right, looking for his clincher, looking for his closer. Minstrel might be the map. Oh, this probe so early. I think it's for a gas steal. Let's see if he throws down a pylon or something. Could it be a 9-9 gate? It's a little early for that. But there's that possibility. No, this is gonna be a gas. Wait. Hold on. 9-9 gate. Oh boy, this is crazy, guys. Best is pulling out the cheese. Game number 6. He is ahead. Is this what we can expect from him in an ASL Best of 7 series? I wonder. This seems extremely risky, but it could pay off massively. End this series before the comeback of RoyaL can really begin. Getting in here with the probe now. I think he's going to be suspicious when the gas isn't stolen. Is he going to actually steal the gas with this? Because that's going to really limit the ability to put on that pressure. He will not steal the gas. And RoyaL's got to be a little suspicious. Like, why is the probe here already and you didn't steal my gas? If he really catches on to this, he's going to build a second barracks. Oh gosh, he's gonna start to throw down pylons, proxy pylons here. This proxy pylon could lead to a shield battery in the mineral line as well. But it looks like RoyaL just gonna target that down. He's actually bringing 4 SCVs off the line to target that. So Best lets that finish. I'm a little surprised about that. I thought he would cancel. Get that money back, considering it was going to die in just a couple of seconds afterwards. Here comes the Zealot now into that main base. It's so fast. Only the one Marine is ready to fight this. Oh, okay. Pretty good blocking so far. Good control. Best going to wait for that second Zealot. That second Zealot is where things get a little bit chaotic. Trying to buy some time here. Going to jump on top of the Marine. 1 hit. 2 hit. Does get the Marine kill with the follow-up. Zealot running in behind these mineral patches. Looks like he's going to get on top of that. Nice mineral walk there from RoyaL. Second Zealot now coming up into this main. There are 3 Marines present, so it's getting a little harder for Best to actually get some damage going here. RoyaL is handling this extremely well. We'll gun down that probe. 4 Marines out now. Uh-oh. Dude, this is looking a little bit bad for Best. There are those Zealots trying to make their way up this high ground. Does lose 1 Marine, but overall a really solid hold. Dragoon is going to come out here shortly, but the factory is about to finish, and RoyaL's really being cautious with this, having the 2 SCVs here to block. Gonna be hard to get on top of everything. He pulls back at the precise moment as the Dragoon is about to finish. Really well played, knowing exactly the timing on that. He should be able to get down here and kill this gateway here quite soon. I think we might see him make a tank. No, vultures, just pure vulture. Let's start this bunker at the front. Marines bullying this back. The Zealots are pretty low on HP. Another Dragoon's gonna pop out here soon. He's getting into position to maybe run that down. Now it's gonna die pretty quickly, but quite a few Marines have gone down. Jump inside the bunker. Oh, just barely makes it in. One of those Marines almost died there. This bunker will be able to take down the gateway. And RoyaL is in a excellent spot. This gateway falling. The Nexus is going to go up behind this. A Dragoon being made back at home. He knows the Vulture's on the way, so he's going to wait at the top of this ramp with the probes, try to block that out. Wow, how is he able to shoot up the ramp without seeing at all? That's kind of crazy. Reverse ramps are pretty weird. 2 probes down so far. 3 probes total. Not bad. 3 probes for the first Vulture. Slowing down Best just that little bit more. He's going to kill that pylon now. So 2 buildings have been taken out. This is pretty painful for Best overall. He lost an initial pylon in the mineral line as well. So, you know, everything's been slowed down quite a bit for Best. Tank's going to pop out here soon. RoyaL was really on point with his factory timing in this game. Getting it out right at the nick of time. Right in the nick of time. Right at the perfect moment. I believe it was right like 2:30, 2:31, something like that. And handled the early aggression here beautifully. Dodging around with those Marines and keeping them out of harm's way. Building up to that 4 or 5 count and then pushing on the low ground. Everything looking quite smooth on the side of RoyaL. 4 Dragoons pushing forward is a little scary. 4 Dragoons, 2 shot of tanks. So he's got to be quite careful. With 2 tanks here and a bunch of Marines in this bunker, you're not feeling nearly as pressured by this. He's even going to transfer his workers down with a worker lead. Best is going to try and take a base here right around the 7-minute mark. It's actually on curve, but with the way everything's gone, it feels really risky. 7-minute third. Generally, I wouldn't bat an eye, but with the way that this is played out and Best losing that early gateway, not really getting the damage he was looking for, feels like Best won't really have enough to actually stop an attack from breaking through his natural. If RoyaL really wants to go for it, like a 2-base push, he's just started his +1 now, so maybe he's not planning to go for that, but if he was, like right as he sees this, he might just think about pulling the trigger on a 2-base attack. Of course, Best is, like we've said, incredibly good at dealing with those 2-base Terran pushes, but maybe from this weakened position, he might not be able to stop RoyaL. Double gateway to follow this up with the Reaver going across the map. Maybe he can find some damage to stabilize himself in this game. Needs to make sure not to lose this Reaver. That's the main thing. If the Reaver gets targeted immediately and RoyaL has more factories finishing up, he could just go straight across the map. There's just not enough stuff out here for Best just yet. There's the starport. So actually, RoyaL thinking about going late in this game. Taking this one into a late game situation. No mines here in the main, and the turrets are quite conservative. Only the one over there by the CC, and so has to be a bit careful. Best not going to drop down. Keeping that Reaver at full HP for the time being. Transferring some workers over. Still dead even on the worker count, by the way. Best getting some more gateways online, but he's just matching the number of factories that are down here for RoyaL. RoyaL doesn't seem to me like he wants to do a push with this starport coming up. Maybe he wants to do like a drop and a push at the same time. Maybe that's the call. Just seems like a lot of investment to get the starport out if you're going to go for a 2-base push. 4, 5, 6, 7 probes going. Oh my god, this is so much damage. Holy. So much damage there in the natural roll, just running by. Not the best Vulture defense from our Protoss today. At least in this game. Some of these games he's been absolutely on point, but maybe getting tired. Starting to slack a little bit. Best wanted to get that quick win, and now that he doesn't have it, falling apart slightly. We've seen shakiness from Best in the past. We've seen him throw away pretty significant leads and, you know, look a little bit weak in some of these long series, and maybe we're seeing a repeat of that now. Best here slowly moving back those Reavers little bit by little bit. Trying to stay out of range of these tanks. RoyaL has the range on these. Can he actually get the shot? Close. But no cigar. RoyaL sending in this drop now. It is that 2 base play. Oh, no, wait. He has a science facility. He starts +2. Oh, that's interesting. So he's going to drop. Start the +2. Push out for a 3rd base. That's what the plan is here for RoyaL. This could get a lot of damage. No Dragoons in the area. Most of all of the army is actually on the other side of the map. Trying to slow down what could be a push from RoyaL, but it's actually not. You can see Dragoons over there at the top left. Just kind of hanging out, waiting for a counterattack opportunity. Zealots and Dragoons pop out and start to clear this. We'll get rid of everything here at the end of the day. Not the biggest amount of damage, but still very annoying for Best. Truly annoying. More factories coming. My God, that's a lot of factories on 2 bases, guys. That is a lot of factories. Can he even afford that many? Actually needs to get a 3rd base out here soon, I think. Meanwhile, Best. Lots of gateways. Has a few shuttles ready. And that Zealot speed's finished, so might be looking to bust on the 3 bases. Terran player almost catching that, but again, more probes are going to go down. 2 more probes go down. Again, getting some value out of these vultures. RoyaL doing a really good job, and Best just not building a pylon wall at the front of this natural. It's kind of crazy to see. He's so opposed to doing that. Still no 3rd base. Dude, 1247? Still haven't built a 3rd base? Is this a 2 base +2 attack timing? That seems so late. Yeah, it really does feel late. I mean, he's gonna probably have, you know, 170 supply, something like that, if he just sits here and makes only units and just waits for that +2. But the follow-up is not going to be that strong. If you're only on 2 bases, he's not going to be able to continue to grow, to hammer out units. If Best holds on with any kind of efficiency to this upcoming attack, he's going to be in a great spot with his 4th base online. 2 bases ahead of the Terran player is kind of crazy strong. He's got the Vessel, Goliath. The army is looking powerful. And with that +2 about to finish, the timing is now. 14-minute push with +2, Vessel, Goliath, a huge amount of tanks, and about 160 supply. Can he make it work here? Oh, I'm afraid. If Best sends in these shuttles to the main, this push could kill him. Yeah, this is scary, guys. He really needs to have everything ready to actually defend this push. He's going to start dropping stuff on mines right now. Oh, a lot of this goes down on some mines. The Reavers find a great spot in the back corner, though. Oh, he's going to go after these supply depots. Getting quite a bit of damage on those. Vultures get sent back to clean up a lot of this stuff. 3 shuttles will survive this drop. So he still retains the 3 shuttles, which is quite good. Gonna kill quite a lot of vultures here, too. My goodness, that's a lot of vulture kills. And he keeps the Reavers alive. Wow. All right, he might actually lose these now. Oh, he keeps it alive. Good God, that Reaver is incredibly low. But it will maintain for now. Royal's push timing's kind of been messed up. Now we're at 15 minutes. That +2's been done for a while. There's the third base coming up. 15-minute third base doesn't make a lot of sense to me, guys. Both Reavers go down pretty quickly, pretty suddenly. 30, 40 supply lead for Best, nearly. But he's got 10 extra workers in advantage, so really only about a 20 supply lead. And this is a very tight bridge to push across. It might favor Best as he comes in here. Or excuse me, might favor Royal as he comes in. Templar, oh, the Storm changes everything, though. If you get caught on that bridge with Storm, it's brutal. It is so brutal. Here we go. Zealot's going to be dropping on top of everything. There's not enough Goliaths in the mix, and dude, these Zealots are going to be dragging in so much friendly fire from these tanks. He can go back with the shuttles now, reload up. Dragoons surrounding everything. Dude, absolutely smashed. That wasn't even a coconut. Best just finds this Traveler. He finds this Explorer in the jungle and breaks his head open on a rock. Good God, that was brutal. Now 80 supply ahead. Another drop here on top of everything with the Storm. Gonna be able to clear out a lot of these tanks. More Zealots on top of everything. Another Storm here to follow it up. Yeah, breaks his head open like a cantaloupe. And Bez just gonna clear out all this natural, kill the floating CC at almost 17 minutes. Still hasn't landed that. Crazy, wacky game here for our final match. Royal versus Best ends in a Best victory. Best has been showing some excellent play, but what was that from Royal? Sitting back for so long, waiting for that 2-0 timing on 2 bases. Certainly did not have the anti-air necessary to deal with the style of Best. He knows what Best is capable of. He knows how he likes to play. Pretty surprised that he wanted to end things that way. But here we are. This series is over, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a blast. If you're watching on YouTube, give it a try. Come down to SOOP. Watch on SOOP Live. The link is in the description. 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 5 days a week. Been really enjoying this series. And the Best is looking fantastic. Cannot wait to see him in this premier tournament coming up. GG, guys. We're going to create a tiny bit of an anti-spoiler. But we're basically at game number 7 here. This has been excellent. Excellent series. Best shall lead us apes to glory. Amen, brother. Best is the one Protoss that makes me want to play Protoss sometimes. The way he's able to smash through these Terran players, it's glorious. Absolutely did a fantastic job in that last game, crushing him on the bridge. Made that 2-0 timing look silly. Absolutely silly. Even though he didn't get the damage he wanted from the proxy gateway, still able to close this one out. Close out this series, guys. Best looking absolutely fantastic. Struggling a little bit with his Vulture defense, honestly. in that last game. The Vulture defense was not the best, but most of these games he handled it very well. Maybe getting a little tired out at the end of this series. I'm gonna take a look now. See if I can find this. Exactly when this was played. I'll get that information out to you guys. Again, they played a lot of series together on Starcast TV on his SOOP channel. So it's going to be a little hard to find exactly which one this was, but I think he picked out a pretty good one for us. Bit of an interesting series here. We got to see if some of best mentality in a late game or in a long series. Falling back on that proxy as things got a little weird there at the end. And so we won't get that minstrel game, unfortunately. Still looking here for the right series. It's one of these. Certainly are a lot of them. Hopefully we'll get more between these two guys. I think they're pretty well matched. There are so many. Dude, there's like 20 of these. That's nuts. Starcast TV really putting in the work, man. Gotta respect it. Is this? Oh, this might be it. Nope, this is not it. My goodness. It's gonna take me all day. No, this isn't it either. Oh, I think I might have found it. Yes, this is the one. All right, this was played on August? Oh boy. August 8th. Wow, that is quite a long time ago. I need to talk to Starcast more about this. There's so many different videos that he has. It would be nice to get something a little bit more recent. this is a pretty decent series. I'm glad we have it. We're getting to watch it now. It's been behind a paywall for quite a long time. We're finally getting access to some of these, courtesy of Starcast TV. Guys, we're going to end here. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with another series. I don't know exactly who we're going to get. Maybe I can ask the Spanish caster. He probably knows what's up. Looks like he might have taken off already. It's a little bit late for him in Peru. So we're just going to leave it there, guys. I'll let you know when I know what the match is tomorrow. But don't miss out on the ASL. That's tomorrow as well. 7 p.m. Korean Standard Time. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.